bop, boop, beep, bop, boop. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people, fellow humans. Let's see. Good morning. Today is Saturday. June 14th, 2025. Here we are at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students. Once again, one day I will figure out how to use the light switch dimmer on my really high-tech light. Okay, but here we are. It's good to be alive on this wonderful Saturday morning here in southwestern Nevada, in purgatory. And people say there is no purgatory. Yeah, it's right here. It's right here in southern Nevada. Where is it? Well, it's west of Sin City, east of Death Valley, right? So what would be east of Sin City and west of Death Valley? Purgatory. That's where you go for purification. Okay, so, and purgatory starts with a P and ends with a Y. Perumpertucky starts with a P and ends with a Y. Okay. Well, so we've got an interesting show today. Our theme is a new start. We are in day 6 of week 4. We're almost through with this. We've got today and tomorrow, and then we start over. So we're way back here. Maybe that's what I'll do from now on. Okay, so here we are. Day 6. Day 6, week 7. Wow, this is really good stuff in here. What do we do? Okay, here we are, day 6, week 7. What? Day 6, week 4, neuroscience-oriented approach to success. Tomorrow is day 7. Monday is week 1, day 1. We start over again, as we have been doing since 2014. Golly gee, yeah, I should go back and look at some of those videos sometime. Maybe post one of those up here. Yeah, one of the oldies but goodies. Okay, so today we are wrapping up this week, which is Leadership Don't Crash the Ship. One of my favorite TED Talks is on here, which isn't actually a TED Talk. It's a Like Stories of Old, great mashup of movies with some kind of theme. And this is the movie The Kingdom of Heaven, using it to illustrate, demonstrate the categorical imperative. Immanuel Kant's categorical imperative. So that's really good. So we're going to come back to that. Advice from an 8-year-old: marry only for love. Well, that's kind of a curious, interesting one, because Friedrich Nietzsche was pretty clear. No, I'm sorry, not Nietzsche. Machiavelli was pretty clear that the easiest way to control people, or the best way to control people, is through fear, not love, because it's easier to fall out of fear. So, marry only for love. Well, there's the problem of, I would say that's true if the people are truly in love, versus it's a thing. It's not love, it's a fancy. It's not true love. And of course, then that begs the question, what is true love? And if we look at from a traditional Japanese thing, you don't fall into love, you develop love. Love happens over time. It could be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. You marry for compatibility and a lot of other reasons and respect, and then you grow to love. So that's an interesting one. Marry only for love. Maybe it should be worded, don't marry for anything that is not love. Don't marry for money. Don't marry because of political coming together. Don't marry for et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Convenience. Don't marry for spite. Don't marry for fear. Maybe it should be framed as don't marry for anything other than love. Not quite the same as marry only for love. Okay, Seth Godin. Rigor and curiosity. Kids grow up with innate curiosity. Yeah, it's hardwired instinct that permits us to walk, talk, survive long before we get to school. And at school, the industrial imperative prizes rigor over about everything else, just about everything else. Let's see who this is. Matt Jacobs. Can I see you? No. Can you see me? I only see that I am in here. So Matt is trying to get on in live chat, and unfortunately it's not showing up in live chat. Sorry, people. Sorry, I can see you. So you can see me, but I can't see you. That's interesting. Okay, well, so moving on. Rigor and curiosity. Okay, and at school, the industrial imperative prizes rigor over just about everything else. Obedience, detail orientation, and system compliance are the unstated goals. Curiosity is supposed to for itself, apparently. Once we leave school and enter the workforce, curiosity gets even less encouragement. That's a shame, because while many institutions suffer from too much rigor, just about all of them would benefit from more curiosity. If you are lucky enough to find a curious person, perhaps they could benefit from a little rigor. But if you encounter a rigorous person, the real opportunity is to rekindle their curiosity. It's there. We simply need to encourage it. And then there's a link to FKCD, a web comic of romance, sarcasm, math, and language. Special 10th anniversary. Good science. Bum, bum, bum. I'll have to look at that later, see what this XKCD is about. A webcomic of romance, sarcasm, math, and language. Okay, we'll come back to that later. All right, so a new start, that's our theme. Let me talk about the TED Talk for today. We talked about advice from an 80-year-old, marry only for love, which I would restate if this was advice from a 67-year-old. Don't marry for anything other than love. Kingdom of Heaven, like stories of old, categorical imperative. Okay, what is the categorical imperative? It's a tool. It's a tool to figure out whether this is a good idea, you should do it, etc. How does it work, you ask? Well, watch the video down below. It shows the two formulations of it. Treating people as persons, but we're going to talk about the universalizability principle. Universalizability principle. Say that 3 times. Right, Manicus von Atticus. So, here's a simple formulation. Act such that what you're thinking about doing, or imagine that what you're thinking about doing is the law and everybody had to do it. And then ask, would the world be a better place? Okay, so I'm going to not stop at this red light. I don't see any cars coming. I'm not going to stop. Or screw the man, I'm not going to stop. They can't force me to stop. And then ask the question, if everybody did this, would the world be a better place? If everybody ran red lights, would the world, or didn't stop at stop signs, would the world be a better place? And very quickly you should get to the answer is no. And you don't add in there, yeah, but I'm special. You know, it's like, I'm going to do what is in the common good. Konos, remember from earlier in the week. I have to check to see why chat isn't working. Chat GPT. So if you're online and you want to send me a text, I can answer your questions. Okay, categorical imperative. Act such that what you are thinking about doing was a law, that everybody did it, would the world be a better place? So I used to use marijuana, reefer, Mary Jane, pot, etc. And say, if everybody smoked pot, would the world be a better place? And I think everybody would agree, no. People who weren't thinking would immediately say, yeah, man, because everybody would be mellow, man. There'd be no aggression, man. Yeah, but then there'd be a lot less of other stuff too, like food, like conveniences. It's great to be down on the beach with your guitar, sitting in the shade, looking at the waves come in, seeing the beautiful people there. It's great to do that. But if there's no supermarkets to buy food, there's no beach bars to go get a beer, and you're just like on a beach in Costa Rica, and then you got to go find food, kill food, prep food, make food, grow food. I think people would trade for discipline, etc. Anyway, that is the categorical imperative. How about today's theme? Fresh start. Well, I'm happy to report I turned in my final paper in my second to last class. One more class to go till I graduate. I turned in my paper. Am I proud of the paper? Well, I bit off a lot. I'll say that much. Bit off a huge amount. I'm happy about that. I covered all of the ground. I'm happy about that. The assignment was basically 20 pages, double spaced. Oops, I have 20 single space pages. A lot of fluff. No, fluff isn't really the right word. A lot of trimming needed to be done. So I did not budget my time properly to cut out the excess to make it tight. After I was done, I ran it through Chat GPT, well, Perplexity, and asked the question, what am I missing? What am I missing? Bing, 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 bing. What am I missing to make this theologically sound? I think that was the question, or logically and theologically sound. Bing, 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 bing. Now, had I done that before, like if I had another couple days to do it, I could have gone through all of the bing, 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 and really tightened it up. However, I did it after because there are strict policies regarding the use of ChatGPT or using AI. And I really didn't want to run afoul of them in deed or in spirit. I wanted it to be an original thing, only using ChatGPT as research and editing, things that are permitted, not to write the paper, but to help me navigate through, find critical resources, and then edit to make sure grammatically it was right, the footnotes are right, those things that structurally it's right, things that are okay. So do I like the fruit of the labor? Absolutely 100%. So now the thing is to start it. And so I am in the position of being a lone nut. I'm a lone nut and wanting to get this small group, 7 words. Sacred experience, small group, works of mercy. That's it, summed up in 7 words. Sacred experience, small groups, or you could say small group sacred experiences, works of mercy. So if you have a small group, up to 20 people in the group, 12 people have to show up. And the small group is a sacred experience, meaning it's not just rituals, it's not spiritual, just spiritual. It's a sacred experience. We feel it with our emotions. It's objectively transformative narratives that everybody can agree to, like the sounds of the music, the smell of whatever, incense, the chairs seated in a circle. Objectively, you can get it, like going into an Orthodox church. Objectively, you know it's a sacred experiences occur there. So it's a sacred experience in a small group to plan and execute works of mercy. Now that's more than 7 words the way I said it, but that's condensed down to 7 words. What do you hear? What are you talking about? Small group, sacred experience, works of mercy. And I happen to think that is sustainable, scalable, and replicable. And it's a great way to get the nuns, those who are spiritual, not religious, back to church. So what is the next step in that? Okay, well, we're at 18:30 in, so fresh start now. I've got my PCA, I've got my CHW, I have my finished school, boom, onward and upward. I have about 7 people that I am the CHW for, getting a pretty solid foundation. So that's what we got. That's where we at. People, it's Saturday right now in the world. What's going on are riots across the country, planned riots against ICE, deporting illegal people. And it's just, so it's like not a small, this is probably small groups merging into bigger groups, but it probably started as a small group phenomena. And the sacred experience were the senses, the objective 5 sense rituals that are involved. The sight, sounds, taste, touch, feel, taste, touch, sight, sound, taste, touch, sight, smells, and the smells. Okay, we're at 20 minutes. So maybe these riots, protest started as small groups, merged with other small groups. So there's a small group made up of, which are made up of other small groups, and organizing funded to now go out and protest the king. Now they're calling Trump the king, and they're protesting having a king, a tyrant. And as I learned from my friend Mark, some people just like going to protest. He likes it because of the energy. Okay, anyway, fresh start, new day. Maticus Phonaticus, if you're there, good for you. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Let's be back here tomorrow. Let's meet again tomorrow. Let's have our